Yeah, episode number 26, and it's with Michael Gomez.
AKA Mobster Mike.
Mobster Mike. Yeah, we'll dive deep into that nickname that we got there. So, yeah, this is episode number 26 of the podcast. I can't believe we're already at episode number 26. It's been quite a journey. It just a little under a year, really, or has it been
Under a year?
Under a year.
Yeah.
July was the
Short
first
amount of
podcast
time.
episode.
Yeah. I mean, we started in like March with Garrett, but those never came out.
Yeah, those are
They never got
unreleased.
published. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are lost episodes. We don't have those.
Yeah. I tried to get them,
Unfortunately.
but I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately, those are lost episodes. We did our best to make up to the people that were on those podcast episodes in those early ones.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so
Well,
welcome.
here's my theory on it. They got recorded. Now, when AI gets a little more advanced,
Then we'll
it'll
be
just
able to get-
tap into the cloud and retrieve
and bring
it,
him
right?
back.
maybe that's a future.
I don't know. I'm just-
Mr. Elon, if you're out there listening to this, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. If anybody that would be able to retrieve those, it would probably be him. But
Yeah.
Anyways, let's not get into. Let's not go down that
Anyways.
rabbit hole.
Technology.
So we have Mobster Mike Gomez.
Yes, sir.
So let us know why they call you the Mobster.
They call me the mobster because I have Italian roots. And one day I just was looking at a photo and I looked like a mobster. And that's how the ring name Mobster Mike came about. So
Yeah.
it has some type of meaning to it. And it's also very catchy.
So for those that don't know, Michael is an MMA fighter.
Yep.
He just had his most recent fight. Was it last month? In
Yeah, a month ago now.
April
right?
19th is when
Yeah.
it was, right? Yeah, it's been a little over a month and 1 day. Mm-hmm. So how did that fight go?
It went as good as I could have asked for, right?
Yeah.
You were there.
Yeah, I was there.
A lot of people saw it online, which was nice. People come up to me still and they say, hey, I saw your fight online. Congrats. And I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, it turned out well. We trained really hard for it. Obviously took some time away from here and connecting with my colleagues. But, you know, overall it went well and now I'm back. So I'm happy to be here and happy to chit chat with you guys.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. I know Patty is excited. So
This is the original crew.
yeah, this is the original crew right here.
This is
This is-
legit
this is-
the original crew.
Literally. Yeah,
right. What was
the
it?
OG crew.
Episode 2 or 3 is when I was on. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
episode 2.
was it episode? I can't remember. It's been
I can't remember. There's almost 30 episodes I made.
I know, man. I can't believe that we're on this episode right now.
26.
26,
Yeah.
man.
That's wild.
Yeah. Greg's is getting posted. Not in. I think tomorrow is when I'll have it ready.
Right on.
So
A lot of good guests that have been on here as well. So
Yeah.
whenever I'm like working out or whatever, going for a run, I'll listen to it.
yeah,
And it's nice.
yeah.
So you switched brokerages.
I did. Yeah. So before I was with Century 21
Mm-hmm.
and I was with them for about a year and a half. And I switched brokerages at the start of this year to Iron Key Real Estate. And they're based out of Fresno, and that's where their headquarter office is. They also had an office in Madera, which just closed for financial reasons, whatever.
Right.
But they saw one in Fresno. That one's holding up strong. I don't know. We have so many agents on board and that are like continuing to come on. And we have like a handful, if not more, broker associates. So it's like really nice because when I go into our office meetings on Wednesday, I'm able to connect with all of them and they're all just an open book, open door. You can ask them any questions. They're there to help you. And they're very much active too. I mean, one of them was just up in Sacramento
Yep.
too. And I was like, hey, what's going on? Right. Like it's cool to see colleagues from not only from YPN and like your association, but from your own brokerage. It means a lot too. Right. And we're all on a mission to just continue growing, building our business and advocating for home ownership rights.
Yeah.
So-
Right on.
That's crazy.
So yeah. Back to the like fighting. I like talking about fighting. I'm a
We're
mixed
going to talk
martial-
about real estate and
we're
MMA.
gonna
Here we go.
Yeah. So what are your connections between fighting and also like in real estate? Like what two can you connect between the two?
No, that's actually a good question. And especially in this last fight camp, I learned so much. This is why I continue to fight and compete in mixed martial arts, is because the amount of growth that I make and that all fighters make in a camp that that they stay disciplined and they actually stick to it, is 10x or 100x times than what normally you would in the span of 2 to 3 months, because you're so locked in, you're so focused, and that's where you really test yourself under pressure and push past your limits. And you have to learn to stay relaxed and trust the process and learn to be uncomfortable. And same thing in real estate. You have to, most importantly, you have to stay relaxed throughout an entire transaction, because there can be some curveballs thrown at you, right?
Yeah.
I'm currently dealing with a curveball right now.
Right. So as a seasoned lender, as a seasoned agent, you guys have both seen some things that have happened. And even then, veteran real estate agents will say, even in my 20, 30 plus years of doing this, I still see something brand new. And you just kind of have to be ready to pivot and be ready for anything. And same thing with MMA. You have to be ready for anything, because that one punch can come out of nowhere. You could be having a smooth transaction. You could be having a good fight, right? You're fighting really well throughout the whole fight. And then out of nowhere, you just get hit with that one hit, that hook or whatever. Same thing in real estate. You get a curveball thrown at you, and there's some issues that are going on, and you got to fix it. And what are you going to do? Are you just going to fold under pressure, or are you going to tackle the problem?
Yeah.
And so
that's
that's
how you
what
respond. And I think Mike Tyson was the one that says everybody's got a game plan until you get hit in the face.
Exactly.
Which is very true.
Literally.
Like, I love that quote. I mean, like, yeah, it's talking about violence, but like everybody has a game plan until you get smacked in the face.
Yeah.
Like, it's very true. Like, it goes with whether you're in real estate, lending, title, escrow. Like, it's all about your adaptability. Because I had a transaction that's going on right now where there was a 120-day wait period, and it's like, okay, what are we going to do like about this wait period? Well, we ended up having to switch things up. We were able to get a clearance through a different company and all of that. So yeah, it was definitely a different animal. I was like, I've never heard of this 120-day wait period.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and I was talking to Brian, was the real estate agent on our side, the buyer's agent. So, and he's like, well, like what do our clients want to do? Do they want to wait the 120 days, or are they wanting to look and move forward to go to a new house? And luckily everything worked out. They're still in that same house, and we're at the final end of this one. So
that's 6 months. That's half a year. That for in the industry that we're in, that's a long time.
It's a very long time.
Yeah.
It's not like you're waiting for a car to be made.
No,
it's like,
no.
As long as you, I mean, we're talking about a house, and like it's a first time buyer, and they're very anxious in getting into a home. So it's like, you know, we did pivot. We were able to make this still work, and you know, by the grace of God, he was able to protect everybody in this transaction, and we're still moving forward with it. So
It's crazy.
Well, I'm glad that you shared that story, because it just goes to show like the experiences and the nature of what we do, and the problems and challenges that we have to solve in this. So it's people don't see what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's a very tedious, long process sometimes, and sometimes it can be very quick.
Yeah.
Long nights. So you're also on the Chamber of Commerce board.
I am the Merced County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I just became a board member earlier this year too.
Tell us more about that. What do you do? How do you get there?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're friends with Anissa and all that, but
yeah. Well,
what inspired you?
I think well, first off, like I have to say this, making the career change into real estate has been the biggest game changer of my life, and has really allowed me to excel in everything that I do. One of those things being networking and really just giving back to my community and being involved. And I really do have a passion for that. I've always done that ever since I was in college. And I think just continuing to network, being involved with the Merced County Nut Festival, and just some other various organizations, but that one being a big one, being on the board for them, really kind of shined a light. And then me and Anissa just kind of had a conversation, and one thing led to another, and I became a director.
Nice.
Of course, they screened me and had interviews with me, and to make sure I was a good fit for the culture. And the board voted for me to join, and now I'm on there. And it's been a good experience so far. We've had 2 mercados since I've been on the board.
Really?
Both have been extremely successful, and we've made a really good our let's just say our revenue stream is really good, and we support local businesses, and that's one of the things that I love about joining the chamber too, and that I think the board, that's why they wanted me to join as well, is because of the things that I do for the community, which is one of the things that I was doing was food review videos.
Yeah.
And I haven't posted one in like a few months, but that kind of caught on, and I just did that for fun, right? I just did it for myself and kind of just was like to share and really to grow my business. But it kind of led to another thing where now I'm on the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I've only been on a few months, and I'm looking forward to continue contributing to that. So.
And then you ran last year for city council.
I did.
What would you say you learned from that? Or your takeaways from that?
Yeah, believing in yourself for sure. Believing in yourself and really just giving it your 100% best effort, because the biggest flaw in my campaign was that I didn't believe in myself. And I've shared that with folks, and especially the people that were in my corner.
You had a good amount of support.
Yeah, it was tough. Considering everything that was going on in my life outside of the campaign, it was tough. I joined the campaign last minute, and then it was kind of off to the races and networking with people and getting to know a lot of people. And I was going against a seasoned council member, and I just fell short. And I would say I only gave 10 to 20% effort in the campaign, right? Most of it was a learning process for me. And I think if I ever were to do it again, I don't know if I will, because obviously like there's going to be other responsibilities that I'll have in life.
Yeah.
But if I were to ever do it again, I know I would win, and I know what I would do and what I would need to do
Differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember you coming, because I invited both of you guys to my son's birthday party, and you had just like, I just got my signature.
I just got the last
signature.
Excited, yeah.
Literally, he's like, I was like, that's why I'm late. I'm like, it's all good, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I know we all got lives and stuff, so.
was
That
all
was
sweaty
pretty
and
cool. I mean, we were celebrating that you got your last signature and you were able to get in like at the last 11th hour. So it was pretty cool to hear that.
It was nice too, because you had horchata and tacos. So I was
I
like,
forgot we had
horchata.
I forgot we had that.
Yeah.
It's been almost a year
Yeah.
since then. So.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, but it's cool. I mean, I'm still staying involved. I mean, obviously here with you guys in YPN, and we had our golf tournament in Atwater, which was awesome. And Rancho Del Rey Golf Club really appreciated our support, because we brought them a lot of
Revenue.
Yeah,
That's
how many golfers
business.
were
There
there?
you go. Huh?
How many golfers were there? 90-something golfers?
Something like that, yeah.
There was a lot of golfers. A lot of people had a lot of fun. And I know I had to cut out a little early, but, from the reception of, like, how it was, like, I heard everything was good. The tacos were good that we had there. Food was really good.
Was good.
And
the cards were...
the music was good, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like
shout out to
17.
17. Yeah, shout out to 17. They played it.
Like, yeah, and, we go to a lot of mixers and stuff like that, and they're playing music and everything, but when you have a live band out there like that,
It
and
makes
they're...
a difference.
Oh, it's a difference, and they were playing well. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being biased, but they played really good.
You know
No,
what?
he does. They do.
I think, honestly, live music, doesn't matter the genre. It's just a different vibe.
It attracts the people, it actually makes people like laugh and dance and connect.
Yeah.
Versus just having a DJ. So it does make a difference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
agree.
what it is. Like, no disrespect to DJs, like they can still get down and throw some mixes and stuff like that. Like, so no disrespect to that, but like when it comes to live music, it's just I don't know. It's just a different vibe.
Yeah, sometimes you like to switch it up. I mean, I love my DJs too, right? So,
Yeah.
And then you're also our social media or marketing person.
I do. Yeah, I work.
Been doing
on
a great
that.
job on that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. I know. At first, it was kind of a slow start. That's another thing too. Is with me, when in anything that I do, I kind of have a slow start. But once I get acclimated to what I'm doing, then it's like, all right, cool. Now I got my rhythm
I got it.
and
You get the hang of things and the flow of everything, and then it makes it easier for you. It takes time.
yeah. So, but yeah, we've been doing that, and we have we have content day, right? For lack of better words, content day, where the YPNers will get together and we'll just film content, and it's cool, right? I mean, people don't realize that filming content is tougher than it looks.
Oh yeah, it really is.
So
Editing and all that.
Editing, remembering what your lines are.
Yeah.
The one that we had from last year where we did a bloopers, that was very funny, and
That
I think
was
that
funny.
that had a lot of good, like, a lot of bleeps and stuff, but it was cool.
That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, it was one of my favorites too. Doing the promo for the rib cook-off last year, we're gonna have to do another one for
Yeah,
that
for sure.
So I'm looking forward to that rib cook-off. Since I brought it up, July 11th.
Yeah.
Make sure you talk to one of your YPNers that you know, get some tickets. What do we come up to an agreement of what the prices are for that now?
We announced 25 at the last MLS.
Okay, and
With the QR code. So 25 pre-sale, 30 out the door.
yeah, and this year we have a special, right?
You
Is that right?
buy 4, you get a fifth. So
Nice.
5 for 100, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so buy 4, get 1 free. We're also looking for sponsorships for that. So reach out to either myself, Ashley, for sponsorships, and we'll get you going on that. There's some good perks on that. I'll try to remember to leave some descriptions in the bottom of this video. And we should have some on our Instagram page as well. So
Yeah.
little quick segue. So last year with the rib cook-off, let's kind of get into last year's rib cook-off. So
Let's do it.
we were the MCs last year. That was a good time. And then later that day, I had to go to Vegas. So that was a pretty long day for me. And
You flew out of Merced.
yeah, I flew out of
did?
Merced. Yeah, no, I flew out of Merced, which is kind of cool. It's a little hidden gem too.
Yeah,
Like,
tell
and
us about that.
So it's not my first time flying out of Merced or flying into Merced. Actually, it was my first time flying out of Merced, but I've flown into Merced a couple times before that. So
Gotcha.
the experience, like, dude, it's so easy. They have a legit TSA there now. Like the
Oh, nice.
times before that, it's always been like, okay, yeah, come on in. And it's like, and then you fly out, and then like you go through TSA
I
in
don't know how to
Vegas. I
feel
was like,
about
what?
that.
Okay, this is kind of weird. But this year, there was a TSA, like, so they checked my bags and stuff. I had like a little pamphlet. It's like, hey, we checked your bag, and I'm like, all right, I thought I locked that, but I guess I didn't. So they checked my bag and stuff. So, but yeah, no, it's a quick, easy blow through. They just remodeled, so where they made a new. Actually, they just broke ground and did a new one, and they're hoping to have that open in June or July, if I'm not mistaken.
Here soon. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's supposed to be
know,
coming
yeah.
soon. So that new terminal, from the pictures that I've seen, it's amazing. So we're hoping that it's going to attract some, bigger
More
airlines
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, but yeah,
More destinations to
yeah,
fly
more
to. That would
destinations
be
too. That's
awesome.
gonna be a key factor in that as well. So
Yeah.
God willing, fingers crossed that all goes through and we get some more destinations, because I think right now all we have is LA and Las Vegas. I think that's what it is right now.
Yeah, and you flew to Las Vegas.
Yeah, I flew to Las Vegas and flew back.
Yeah. So you go through TSA, you go through the airport. Now you're getting on the plane. What's that like? Like,
What's
how
that
big's
like?
the plane? How many people?
Plane, okay, so I think it's a 10-seater, but they only sell 8. It's because they needed to keep 2 seats open for whatever reason. So I think that's what it is. But I know it's a max
Yeah.
of 8 people on the, like, passengers, 8 passengers.
right.
Obviously, you have your 2 pilots in the front and then 8 passengers. So,
Right.
so yeah, getting onto the plane, you're like literally walking onto the tarmac. You walk up this little stepway, and then you're like boarding the plane. So it's a pretty cool aspect of it.
Nice.
And then when I landed in Vegas, I actually walked on the Vegas tarmac as well. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
I've walked on. So there's a few tarmacs that I've walked on. I've walked on the LAX tarmac, and I've walked on the Las Vegas one.
The Las Vegas.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
because when I went to go get licensed for not real estate, but lending, I flew from Fresno because it was cheaper to fly from Fresno to LA and then from LA back to Merced because of the way that I needed to do everything. So we always go to
Funny how that works.
We always go to Pismo in June. So it was like right before I was going to Pismo. I was like,
Yeah.
so trying to figure out a way, like what's the cheapest way? So it was cheaper to fly out of Fresno and then fly back into Merced for me. So just because of how it timed up, I was trying to make sure I was getting here on time so I can, then hop in
Yeah.
a car and drive all the way down to Pismo. So I had a crazy week of going into LA. Almost went and saw an Angels game because it was right there by where I was getting trained at. And then I was like, nah, I need to save some money because I got some big expenses coming up.
So if you had to pick Fresno Airport or Merced.
Okay, so here's the thing. If I'm going to Vegas or LA, I'm picking Merced. And the reason why is the wait time is less. There's no parking. and I don't have to drive, or there's no parking fee.
Yeah.
And I don't have to drive far. So you're
Convenience.
eliminating at least an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
right
nice.
there. So that's the convenience factor. Everybody's like, well, it's cheaper to fly out of Fresno. It's like, okay, gas, the time to get there, the parking. It all adds up to be about the same. So what money are you actually saving?
Here now. I always
Yeah.
fly out of SF.
SFO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are more flights.
Yeah, they
You-
do have more flights.
They
so
do.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Love SFO.
Yeah.
You were on a podcast the other day.
I was.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was on the Pray About It podcast down in Madera with my friend Diego, and we met at the gym that I train at, and he asked me if I wanted to be on it, and I said sure. So
Tell us about your experience on that.
well, it was good. Actually, it's funny because I was supposed to be on that podcast a while ago before my fight. And when I was driving over there, I hit something in the road, and it caused my tire to blow out.
Oh, that's
well, then I changed the tire out and was driving on the spare, and then I found out, well, my rim got blown out too. There's a big hole in my rim, so I was all like,
"Oh, I remember you."
Yeah,
texting
yeah,
about
and I told you about that. I didn't tell a lot of people about that.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was what, in like February or something, February or March,
Yeah.
And so I was driving around on the spare for a little bit, and when that blowout happened, I was very surprised in my reaction because I didn't get frustrated. I just was like, all right, how am I going to solve this issue? Because I'm in fight camp now.
Yeah.
And I was going to film this podcast. And so I'm all like, great, now this is going to set me back just a little bit. So I told him, hey, we got to film the podcast at a later date. Threw the spare on, ended up just driving to the gym. And then I was on my spare for like a couple weeks while I was in the process of getting 4 new rims and 4 new tires, because you can't just buy one. You have to buy a whole new set. And so I dropped the money for that because I needed to, and which I'm kind of glad to because I like the new rims on my car.
It's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I needed that. but I got them, and I just kept going, and I think that right there was like for lack of better words, like this deciding factor of like, how much do you want it?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I want it this bad. I'm willing to do anything it takes to win. So yeah, that was just one block in the road.
Yeah, and you bring that up, and I remember reading or hearing a story about a guy that was going for an interview and had a similar situation, has a blowout, or if something happens to his car, he's full suit and tie, he's an hour away from driving an hour away.
Yeah.
He ends up walking the rest of the way, or maybe it was like an hour walk. I think it was more of like an hour, 2 hour walk from where he was at. And he goes up to there, and he's like, I apologize for everything. I had a blowout. This is what happened. Or something happened to his car, and the guy goes, okay, interview's over. You're hired. You took the effort, that the obstacle that you got into. You took that effort. You said, well, this is the card that I'm being dealt today. But you still made the effort to make it here.
Yeah.
So that speaks more volumes of like than doing a good interview. Like that's the integrity of the person,
To show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's God too protecting. And I've told you this. Like that was God protecting you from something.
Yeah, absolutely. It's also called the burnt toast theory. Like you burnt your toast, so you had to cook some more toast, and like maybe that one situation prevented you from getting into something
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
Yeah, I think about that a lot too, about the blown out tire.
And the first time I went up to Dodge Ridge, it was on a Sunday morning, and I think it was like Martin Luther King's day the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was like, hey, we need to go to church. I was like, Mom, let's go to church on Saturday. Nope, we got to go Sunday morning. I was like, but we can go at 5 on Saturday so we can leave. She's like, nope, we're going to church at 7. Luckily, it was still early, so 7:30 in the morning. And we go to church, and I'm like looking at my phone. It's like, oh my God, like I've never driven up to Dodge Ridge. So I'm like stressing out about that. And I'm like, and the whole thing was like, you're driving, I'm 17 too. So I'm driving my dad's diesel, like 2500 diesel truck, brand new. And I'm like, I'm stressing out, like white knuckling and everything. And so We go to church, get out of church. 8:15, we're like, all right, we got to move. So we grab all of our stuff, throw it in the back of the truck, and then we go. We get into traffic, and I'm like, man, we're stuck in traffic. We have our lessons. Come to find out, there was an accident on the 108,
wow.
on the 108, and it happened at 7:30, which we would have left at 6:45.
You would have been
We
there
would've-
instead of being
yeah.
at church.
Yeah. So we could have been in that accident and during that car pileup. And it was snowing that day too. So the first time I've ever driven in the snow, and it was just like, hey, look, there was a reason why we had to go through this.
Yeah.
So Zilla's calling me right now. Let me.
No, but seriously though, like it's, you know, when stuff like that happens in your life, you have to just stop and think about it and slow down for a second. Just say, all right, well, this probably prevented something worse.
100%.
For a reason. Things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. You know, too, because the reason, like, with this new brokerage, being a director, winning my last fight, you know, that all came because I was going through it like 6 months ago, a year ago, right? I lost the election. Some things were happening in my business. Some things were happening in my personal life. And it was that really was like, all right, now you're crossing over into the next level. I don't know why that happens. I've talked with my coach. I've talked with my mentors. I've talked with some very close people to me. But that, like, if you're going through it in life and there's so many, like, you feel like you're getting attacked at every single angle. It's tough, but you just kind of have to hold your ground and just go through it.
Yeah.
My grandma used to say, it gets dark before the sun comes out, but at least you know that the sun is coming out. You're getting, you know, and so, like, that sticks with me all the time. Well, at least this is the crap that I'm dealing with, and, like, good things are coming. Like, that gives me peace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I always like to go to the quote from Daniel Cormier. He's a professional fighter. He's like, just embrace the suck. Embrace the suck, because if you're good at when it's sucky times, you're going to be good when it's good times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I do like that.
That is a good one too, though. I like
It
that.
gets pretty dark before the sun comes out. Yeah, it sticks with me. I think everything that happened for you last year was part of that was for your growth this year. Like, I do see that. And I think you see that too, you know? Like,
Yeah. Well, I believe in myself now a lot. I mean, I've always believed in myself, but when you go through those dark times, it's tough, and it's tough for me. But, like, I believe in myself, and now that I'm older, it's easier for me to manage those things. They're still difficult, but when you go through trials and tribulations, it makes you a stronger person.
Yes.
Like, the difficulties don't get easier. They're still difficult.
Yeah.
You just become a much stronger, wiser, more courageous, yada, yada, yada.
You're able to think quicker on your feet too when you put enough, like, and it's like, and it goes back to fighting. The more fights you put underneath your belt, the more you get creative with everything that you think, and it just, yeah. I mean, I'm a sports guy too, so it's like the more reps you take, the more time you take into it, the better you're going to get at it. So
Yeah.
like, something new comes at you. Okay, well, let's go look and see what we can do to combat that. So
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
all about repetition.
No,
the
the
more
reps.
the more reps, the better you get.
In anything that you do. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
really.
been a motto of mine, like, this year, was just continuing to get your reps in anything that you do, right? Having conversations, making those phone calls, writing up contracts, submitting offers, hitting the punching bag, right? Whatever it is, get your reps in, and eventually you're going to master it in anything that you do. Like the jab in MMA, when you're throwing your jab, you can throw it 10,000 times and master your jab. Well, the next, you got to work on your straight, right? You go jab, straight, or you're working on them at the same time. Now you're working on your combos, right? It's just, you keep elevating and elevating and elevating, and it's a non-stop learning thing in MMA and in real estate.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in the next, I don't know, 35 years?
Just continuing doing what I'm doing, growing in real estate, growing in martial arts, and growing with the community. that's really it. Maybe I'll have a family. I hope I'll have a family.
You got to find the right one though.
Yeah, and there's no rush. I mean,
Yeah, no.
Keep him this way.
Let's just make sure that you got the right partner.
That's
Because
funny.
you gotta have the right partner in crime. So.
No, yeah. It's because we talk behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
it's like,
I tell him all the time. I'm like, Michael, like,
yeah. No, but I'm glad that I got colleagues, and I'm glad that I got friends like that, you know, and AJ's a good friend and colleague of mine, and
appreciate that.
Patty as well. And yeah, it's just good. You know, you need people like that that'll tell it to you straight.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I tell people
does.
straight all the time. It's like, you might get offended, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna sugarcoat it. I mean, there are times where it's like, hey, you know, maybe we like, and I'll do it in a more tactical way of like conversation, but I'll eventually get to the truth. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, hey,
He's
man,
just suiting you to like dump it
No,
on you.
yeah.
yeah, no, it's like, well, what's your main goal? What do you want to do? Like, okay, well, that's not what you should do then. Like,
Yeah. No, AJ will tell it to you like it is, and that's just AJ.
It's like,
that's just me, man. I'll just tell you the truth.
Yeah, but no, same thing with my gym, with my coaches and my teammates. Like, we've built that camaraderie and that bond where we're brothers. We're brothers, and we make fun of each other, and we always criticize each other, but it's not out of hate. It's just out of pure love. And at the end of the day, we all go to war, and we're all in there fighting our own battle. Nobody's in there fighting it for us. We're in there, and they may be on our corner, but we're in there fighting that battle, and it's up to us to get through that. And you know, I'm very grateful for the people that I have around me. I'm very grateful for my team, and I'm looking forward to continue growing those connections.
Yeah, and I think it was Pat Barry who said this. Yeah, there's one fighter going into it. There's one punch being thrown, but there's 50 coming behind it as well.
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
camp. So that's what he meant by that. So yeah, it randomly popped in my head. I don't even
That's
remember what.
tough.
I don't even remember what show that was on. It was on MTV, and it was I remember it was Anthony Pettis and it was Pat Barry. Like, I guess
That's
Pat
tight.
Barry was training Anthony
haven't seen that
Pettis.
one.
Like, that's years ago. This is like 07, 08.
Yeah.
That's how long I've been watching fighting. That's been a
No,
very long
when
time.
you say you're a sports guy and you're an MMA fan, like AJ, you really are.
He really is.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, this guy's about it. Like,
Yeah, no, last night we were watching like, my boys were watching like some show. I think it's called like Max and Friends or like Color Train something. And I look at my watch and I'm like, dude, we're missing the ball game. Like, we're turning this off. Like, I'm like, give me that remote. We're not watching this anymore. Like, let's watch baseball. They're like dreading, no, I don't want to watch baseball. No. And then they're like, okay, can we watch baseball? And they're like, now my boys are starting to get into like baseball and football. Like when it comes to football season, oh man, I love football season. It's just like every Sunday morning we got the Red Zone channel. We're watching it from like 10 a.m. all the way to 8 p.m. or even like later, like 9, 10 o'clock at night. So it's like a whole day of
That's
just
wild.
watching football. Yeah.
that's the American culture right there. Football on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, even on our anniversary, me and my wife went to go see the Niners play the Bears, is what it was on
Nice.
our like the day after our anniversary, and we
Nice.
watched the fight the night before.
Nice.
I was like,
That's
man, my
funny.
wife is so awesome. Shout out to Erica. You know, she's a
Yes.
true gem for me. She's like literally the perfect partner for me. So
Yeah, I know Erica too, so she's a very good person.
yeah, I appreciate the nice words to her. So
Yeah. Any shout outs or thank yous?
Yeah, shout out to
anything you wanna add?
shout out to Iron Key Real Estate,
there you go.
the brokerage that I'm with, and shout out to Brandon, my broker, and shout out to my colleague Christopher Arias, who's also my MMA coach / mentor / brother / friend / yada yada.
He wears a lot of hats for you.
Yeah, but shout out to them because, again, Iron Key is down in Fresno, but I have the honor and the opportunity to pioneer Iron Key this way, and one day we'll have a brokerage here in Merced. Right now we don't have a brick and mortar, but shout out to them. Shout out to Madera Martial Arts, the gym that I train at. People ask me, why don't you train in Merced? Well, I have. And over the course of my career, I've grown to a level to where I needed to find a team that was really going to push me past my limits, and Madera Martial Arts is where it's at. And I do commute over there and train over there. And during fight camp, I make the commitment to train and really lock in. So shout out to Christopher Arias, the head coach over there, and my teammates Kyle Mask, AB Del Toro, Chris Chapa, Moses Contreras, a lot of other folks over there that I probably am not thinking of right now, but you guys know I love you a lot. And who else? Shout out to all my YPN folks, right? And shout out to the Merced County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Anissa Fergoso, shout out to her. Shout out to Club Mercedes and the Atwater Winton Lions Club. And that's about it. Those are all my shout outs, all my groups that I'm with, all my peeps.
Yeah, so let's one last shout out to everybody that fought on April 19th. You guys had 4 fighters, and what were the outcomes of those?
Yes, shout out to my boy Gabriel Sanchez too, right? Can't forget my boy Gabriel. Shout out to Chris Chapa, Moses Contreras, Gabriel Sanchez, and then me. We all went and fought April 19th, and we all won our fights. And Chris Chapa and Moses Contreras are the champions.
Yeah.
Right? And our gym has 10 champions in total. Right? We've had, over the course of the gym being around, we've had 10 champions. And like half of them, I think, maybe, don't quote me on it, but have come within the last 2-3 years. Yeah. Like, and that just goes to show you the level that we're at. But we're not even where we want to be at.
Yeah.
Like, you go to a gym down in up in San Jose or up in Sacramento, Team Alpha Male, AKA in San Jose or whatever, and you see the fighters there. I mean, there's UFC fighters there, right? Daniel Cormier
from AKA
is from AKA. Completely different level. And we're not even close to where we want to be, but we're building there, and I'm grateful to be a part of the journey.
Yeah, so you guys went 4-0 April 19th. We went to the after party. We were having a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I was doing the Patty Pimlet the entire time.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. Like that. I mean, I'm a fight nerd. I'm going to be watching fights this weekend and next weekend and the following weekend.
Yeah.
So
Well, if you guys want to stay up to date with what I'm doing, you can follow me at Mobster Mike. That's MOBSTERMIKE. That's my fight page. And my real estate page is Michael the MBA Realtor. And I post pretty much anything that's coming up from the Mercado with the Hispanic Chamber, to any YPN events that we got going on, to any upcoming fights that I have, and just about anything else. That's where you can follow me and stay connected with me. And that's about it.
Right on.
All right, that was
a great interview.
Yeah.
I like this one a lot. I was looking forward to this one like this morning.
Yeah.
I was like,
we touched everything.
I was like, I get to talk to Mike. We get to talk about fights and stuff and like everything that we got going on. So yeah, reminder, Rib Cook-Off, July 11th.
Yes.
Got to make sure we get that out. July 11th.
A lot of fun.
It's going to be here at the association. I believe me and you are going to MC again. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm down to do that. So
yeah,
I like being not the center of attention, but just get people hyped up.
I
like hyping people up.
Yeah,
like,
giving off my energy. Yeah. We're looking for we're looking for teams, Rib Cook-Off teams, sponsors, and just people to come and hang out.
Yeah, how many teams did we do last year? Was it 13, 14 teams last year?
14.
Something
14?
like that, yeah.
Was it 14? Yeah, we're hoping to get another 14 teams again. We'll get the usuals that we get, and hopefully we keep that going. And shout out to all of our judges that are going to be there. I know that the DA
Nicole Silveria is one of them.
UC Merced.
We're gonna
ask him.
Yeah.
He's either gonna compete or he's gonna
judge.
He's gonna judge one or the other. So
Marissa had asked somebody too. I just can't recall.
Can't remember.
Very nice.
Maybe we'll get the mayor of Merced again. He'll be here for sure. Hopefully, for Sheriff Vern Warnke's going to be here again. That was really fun. Yeah, cooking. Yeah. He was cooking last year. It's just a lot of fun. So
he came close last year. He second place.
Yeah, he got second place. Who got third?
That's a good question.
I can't remember who got third.
If you're not first, you're last. So I don't know.
If you're not first, you're last. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, but that's going to conclude this episode of the podcast. Again, thank you, Michael Gomez, Mobster Mike.
Thanks for having me.
So we'll have you on again as a co-host or even as another guest.
You need to bring your broker.
Yes, we need to get
Brandon
that was the original
plan.
That was the original plan, was to get your broker on, but he was busy training other fighters. Is that
No. Chris was busy. He's actually got fights this Saturdays. a few of our teammates are fighting. But yeah, Brandon too. He's just super busy all the time.
Gotcha. Maybe that could be one of our first ones where we do like a Zoom. I don't know. We'll think of something.
We'll figure it out.
That'd be cool.
It'd be kind of cool to do a Zoom one, right? Yeah.
So yeah, that would be.
We'll figure it out. I just got to figure out the
technicality behind it.
Technicality behind that. So anyway, but that's going to conclude this episode of the podcast. Again, thank you very much, Michael Gomez, for joining us today, and we'll see you in the future.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.